Hey, how's it going, everybody? So, I got an update on the Toyota wagon, finally. It's been a little bit. Been probably a couple months, maybe a bit less since I got this car. I've been working, so I really haven't had a whole lot of time to, work on it. If you haven't seen it, I did pick up this '06 Mustang GT convertible with a manual. I really like it. Traded my truck for it, a '04 Chevy Silverado. I'm nothing but happy with this car. It's amazing. Now, this I got for free. It just happened a certain way on Facebook. You know what I mean? Guy was moving. Didn't really want to take this project with him. Gave it to me. Non-running, but pretty complete car. A couple issues when it was running. And I've finally I got it running. That's why I'm making this video. So I've never seen it parked this way because I was just out driving it for the very first time. Not kidding. I just drove for the first time like 10 minutes ago. And here it is. So few things I've noticed. One of them was 100% caused by me, and I'm gonna have to fix it. Take a look at that back wheel. It's got some pretty aggressive toe there. It is like that way. And it's because I might have been using that floor jack on the A-arms, or I was trying to, and I actually put all the weight on a yeah, you see that part that's bent right there? That's supposed to be straight. That's supposed to look like that. Yeah. So that was on me. It looks like a pretty easy part to replace. Hopefully I can find that part online. I should be able to. It's a suspension component. Yeah, so that's not great. I did drive this car like that. It surprisingly does not affect the way it drives. I'm not even kidding. That did not affect the way this thing drives at all. The shocks are gone completely. I mean, I'm trying to bounce the car with my foot here. It's very, very spongy. Whenever you turn, left or right with it, like the whole back end of the car squats down, and like the side you're turning it, like the body roll is crazy on this thing. It's kind of fun because you're like just sitting on a bunch of springs just bouncing around. Honestly, it's perfectly tuned for winter driving. Truly, I mean, like, that's what you want. I mean, I'm kind of being sarcastic, but kind of not. Like, you do want a bit softer suspension, I guess. I'm gonna be using this as my daily driver in the winter time, so I'm glad I was able to get it running because the leaves are turning, let's just say that. I'm not going to have much longer I can drive this thing before I stick it in the garage for the winter. So, I'm enjoying every day that it's sunny and not pouring rain when I can have the top down. It's just really fun. That's all I got to say about that. But here it is, this 1990 Toyota Camry. As the guy from Motor Week says, oh, this Camry, it's really nice for a free car. You know what I mean? Like, I would have paid $500 for this thing. I mean, maybe not as it was sitting, but I mean, the seat looks a little dusty on the screen there, but it's really not. I shampooed it. It's just some residual dirt or staining or whatever. Now, it does have a lot of oil leaks, and the power steering line is severed in some place, and I just keep topping it up with fluid, but I went through about a reservoir, probably a good 12 ounces of fluid in 10 minutes of driving it, so I might not want to drive it too far here, but let me show you this thing firing up. Yes, I got 1 mile on it. Almost 2, actually. I already drove it, so it is warm. And it just runs like a top. I mean, no check engine lights, no lights on at all. If I close the door there, it'll wind my seatbelt up. I still have to buckle the lower part, but I'm not going to really go anywhere. Reverse. I could feel it go in. Drive, goes in, rolls, stops. Brakes work. Brakes are pretty good, actually. Heater, really important thing for this winter, works. Yep. I have hot, and I mean hot, air coming out of this thing right now. Yeah. Like this thing is getting toasty, and I'm only on fan level 1. Yeah, this thing has a wild heater on it, honestly. Doesn't seem to get too hot. You know, it's sitting like the gauge is a little low, but it's such a huge gauge. Like it's probably one of like the Ford style gauges where it's just kind of like on or off. I did see it rising as it was getting warmer, but it's probably a really dumb gauge, would be my guess. 182,000 miles. It feels like a 120,000 mile vehicle on the inside. Steering wheel feels great. Mirror adjustments, all that stuff. Has the sunroof that does actually work. I mean, I don't want to take a risk on it when it's been raining. It does work. I've ran it back and forward once. So the issue, I'm gonna turn this thing off just so it doesn't leak out all its power steering fluid, was a there's that seatbelt. It was a igniter box. I don't know why that was the issue. It might have been that, and also I drained gas out of it and just inspected the fuel pump, and I thought the fuel pump was dead because I was getting 12 volts at the circuit underneath the seat. Like at the plug, it had 12 volts. You can't access the pump. You can access the sending unit for the level under the seat, but not the pump, which I wish they would have made that the reverse, honestly. I wish they would have had the pump right very accessible, but, you know, whatever. Pump worked, long story short. I couldn't hear it when I was priming it. And I guess what I read up on the forums is when the ignition control module, igniter box, whatever, senses that the vehicle is like running, it'll activate the fuel pump. I don't know why it's like that, but I was able to prime it for a longer period of time, and I also cracked the lines in a couple different locations. Once behind, like right underneath the tank, I cracked it. There was a fitting I was able to loosen, tighten back up. Another one was the filter underneath the air box. I just cracked that line, and I was jumpering the diagnostic points up there, and I was able to get it to start pumping fuel, which is the first time I'd ever seen it. I had even tried that before. I don't know what changed, really. I honestly don't know what changed. I don't think I repaired anything, really. I mean, I cracked the fuel. I dropped the entire tank on this car. I had a fuel pump ready, but I did get that new ignition control module, put that in there, and this thing fires right up. So maybe the guy I got it from was right this whole time. It just needed a new one of those, and I probably just wasted my time with the fuel pump. But it still made me feel good that it did work, I guess. It wasn't too hard to drop the tank. Honestly, it did not take that long. Oh boy, I can actually see, hold up, I can actually see the line of a power steering fluid that I left on the ground. You see that, like that weird looking little trail? That is power steering fluid. Yeah, I'm gonna get this thing into a shop. I mean, I know I'm just gonna close that door because it's getting a little wet around here, but you know, I'd like to do everything myself, of course, but I'm probably gonna let a shop take care of that suspension and the power steering. I just want this thing to be a daily driver for wintertime, like just a winter beater. I don't care You know what I mean? Like, I know it's the deal is to try to keep like the cost as low as possible on a beater car like this, but honestly, this thing's not really a beater. I mean, the interior is very nice. It does not smell awful. I bought a replacement ECU if the ignition control module didn't work. People were saying on the forums that might be the cause. So I got one. It was only $25, so I guess I just have a spare one of those. Concerningly, there was a bottle of coolant in the back, and I'm really hoping it does not have head gasket issues. I just want to think it doesn't, and I'll just keep topping it off with coolant if it does. All this car has to do for me is get me about 2 miles that way to work and 2 miles this way back home. So, it does not have to go far, really. So, I'm happy with it. Bit of play in the steering, I'd say. You could hear it clunking. It's fun. I like it. I'm really happy. I mean, like, I have no money into it virtually. I have $100-something worth of parts, and I bought a clicky-clack fuel pump to siphon all the gas out. I was not gonna mess around with, actually trying to make a siphon at home. I just went and got a fuel pump. It drained all the gas that was in it in about 5 minutes. I don't care. Here it is. I got a free car that runs. I have probably about less than $300 in at this point. Now, it's going to change. I am going to go take it to a shop and have them, fix the oil leaks, maybe all that junk. It would be nice if I had a lift because I could get right up to where the hydraulic lines are, but I felt kind of sketched out under those rusty old ramps I have. All the weight of this car is up at the front, and it's a V6, so there's a decent amount of weight up on the front of this car. I don't want to be up under those rusty ramps with that amount of weight above it. I'm sure it'd be fine, but I don't want to take any risks. So that's the plan with this thing. Hey, thanks for watching. I'll try to make more videos about this if anyone's interested. It's a fun little Toyota, I guess. The Camry. No, I'm just saying it. But, hey, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. I've been liking making YouTube videos. It's a fun little hobby of mine. So, I'm happy I did it. I got this thing to run. It was non-running when I bought it, and now it runs. I drove it earlier. So, hey, awesome. Thanks for watching. See you later.